Okay, so we are going to move on to the Hardy candidates. So if you are a Hardy candidate, please come behind me to one of these white chairs. And initially I was going to be on that side of things, but it appears that I'm going to be right next to you. We'll be buddies. So we're going to do council members first, and then mayor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys the first question. You will each answer the first question. You will have 2 minutes to answer that question. Then we'll move on to the second one. You'll each have 2 minutes, and then you can go and be seated where it's probably more comfortable for you. So who wants to go first? All right, David. Step up to the mic and you gotta. Okay. You don't actually have to eat it, but pretty close. All right. So for city candidates, I didn't make up the questions, so I gotta find them. Council and JP candidates. Okay. What processes and procedures will you strive to continue and/or establish in regards to city business? Don't answer yet because I have to get my stopwatch.
Okay.
Just be aware that that's the first question. Okay. So I'll try and give you a 30-second warning. If not, my phone's just going to go off really loud when it's time to stop talking. You want me to repeat the question?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I think Hardy's made a lot of terrific strides in the last year and a half, 2 years. One thing I'd really like to see us continue is cleaning Hardy up. It's when you come into town, there's a lot of run-down, vacant, abandoned buildings, and we've worked real hard on cleaning these up. I just think that'll bring people to Hardy when we have a clean, respectable-looking town. It'll draw entrepreneurs here that'll help fill up our vacant buildings. Something I'd like to establish in this town is budget some money next year for a more constringent animal control policy. We've got a lot of wild animal, feral cats, groundhogs. You can go behind some of the businesses in town at night, and when it gets dark out, the feral cats just come out of the sewer system there. I'd like to see us budget some money and try to get this under control.
You don't want to use the rest of your time?
No.
Okay. Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, in case I forgot.
Okay. All right. So the question is, what processes and procedures will you strive to continue and/or establish in regards to city business?
Actually, as a volunteer, I have already started a process of working with the city staff, with the recorded treasurer and the mayor, with help with filing. Can you hear me now? Sorry. See, he still has to direct me, even in the office and out of the office. I have been helping with a lot of the paperwork, the accounting functions of reconciling.
Oh, sorry. It's not on mic.
Okay. I think we're good now. Third try, lucky. All right, thank you. I started this process back in 2016, worked with the previous recorded treasurer, and I'm working with the current recorded treasurer. I've been helping the mayor as well with a lot of the paperwork. This is my volunteer time, which I've been giving for many years now. What I would like to actually see is an interaction between all the departments, be it the A&P Commission, the council members, the mayor, the city staff. I think that's very important for everyone to work together, and this includes merchants as well, and the general public. They don't have to be business people, because this is not just a decision made by the council members, but it should be an inclusion for all the citizens of Hardy. I am serving as a financial secretary on the Hardy A&P Commission.
30
and
seconds.
have
30 seconds.
30. And there is a lot of clarity and transparency with the accountability that I have produced, and I will continue to do so. I will continue to work with every council member and every ward member and citizens. Council members should be the bridge, and I hope to see that. Thank you.
Sue, would you like to go next? When you get up there, say who you are and what your ward is. I apologize, I should have had you guys do that from the get-go.
I'm Sue Taylor. I live in Hardy, Arkansas, in Ward 3, Seat 2.
Step a little closer. Do you want me to repeat the question?
Sure.
Okay. So the question is, what process and procedure will you strive to continue and/or establish in regards to city business?
I think our most important thing is to do the right thing and use the skills that we have and the information we have to make the right decisions. And I feel like everybody that's running probably has that skill. And I just think that's most important, and try to come together and support each other.
Tracy. Remember, say your ward and where you're from, and get close to the mic.
Right.
Guys, I am Tracy Moore. I am Ward 3, Seat 1. And I read over this question, and I did some true heart searching. And these were the items that I came up with. First of all, increase our tourism. Getting our events, supporting our local businesses, encouraging new businesses to come in. And one I would like to see, I have seen it, but the collaboration between the various townships nearby. I've seen that with the AMPs. I've seen that in the Chamber of Commerce. Also, I would like to support the neighborhood cleanups. Guys, these cleanups, they're not just something, there are safety issues involved in some of these properties. And it's just really important for some areas, especially where there's a lot of children. Also, the writing of grants for citizen benefits. Guys, it just means a lot, and it brings a lot more into this town than I think some of us realize. And finally, the last one would be just have that strong support for our fire and our police department, because they are out there. I mean, they could lose their lives or get hurt. I mean, it's all because they're wanting to take care of us. So I think we need to turn around and take care of them also.
Okay. Second question. Alright. So the question is, what are some of the issues in your city you want to help resolve? Introduce yourself and the ward.
I'm David Bathrick. I'm running for City Council in Hardy, Ward 2, Seat 2. I'd like to continue. I've done a lot of volunteer work over at the Senior Citizen Center in Hardy. I'd like to personally continue to improve that place for our seniors. That Senior Citizen Center, if some of you don't know, is a city-owned building. The city's liable to maintain it and keep it up in good repair. And that place has been neglected for so long. There's just a list of things that we've done in the last 3 or 4 months to really improve the Senior Citizen Center, but it still has a ways to go, and that's just one of my priorities I'd like to take care of. Thank you.
Nimi Desai, running for councilwoman in Hardy, position Ward 2, position 1. Question?
The question is, what are some of the issues in your city you want to help resolve?
I think, once again, it's going to be a continuation from my answer from question 1, is interaction with everyone. Teamwork is what I'm looking for. Volunteer. We have a very short base of volunteers in Hardy itself, We try to get as much help as possible, and this is only possible with all the council members also trying to do that together. At every event, any organization that's running any event, either here or somewhere in Sharp County, I think we all should work together to get that done. As a hotel owner, I would actually like to start a program with the school children and teach them work ethics, and responsibility is very important. Education is what I'm driving for, and I urge merchants also to help with this program. Thank you.
Step up to the mic.
Close enough.
There you go. All right, so the question is, what are some of the issues in your city you want to help resolve?
Okay, the main thing I think we need to do is join together and support each other. And if we have a question or concern, they can call any of us or the office. And I think that's what they should do instead of making accusations and stuff that may or may not be true.
Is that it? Okay. Tracy?
All right, and so the issues we'd like to have help resolved. And guys, I'm gonna tell you, my number one on my list was the unity among our citizens. Guys, the good Lord himself said in Matthew 12, a city divided itself by itself cannot stand. So that is very dear to my heart, is that we come together as a city. And once we do that, then I see us being positioned so that we can have a healthier economy, not just for each individual, but we're talking about the children, those that we want to be moving into this area. All of these things help that economy. And they're wanting to come to a place that is thriving. They're wanting to come to a place that has events and is encouraging. And I believe Hardy has all the components to make that happen. We've just got to get together and work together to make it happen. And then part of that would be encouraging improvement of the neighborhood properties. Guys, there is so much opportunity here in this town. And it's going to take all of us to bring it to fruition, but it is here. It didn't just pass away. It didn't just pass away. It's here just lying dormant. And if we come together, we'll bring it back to life.
Thank you. Aldermen and potential aldermen, if y'all want to stay here, you can. If you'd like to go back to your seats, you can. We're going to move on to the mayors.
The mayors are on their own.
Okay, who would like to go first?
Go ahead. Me.
All right. All right.
Broke it already. Don't vote for me. Tear the town apart.
So the first question is, if elected, what 3 steps would you take to put your city on a firmer financial footing?
Well, I think the first step is to get us a really good leader, and we can do that by voting. And then I believe the second step is when that leader gets in there, I think that leader, the mayor, needs to go ahead and be inviting the people in there that are business savvy. And if they can't make it to the meeting, we need to go to them, because what we need is business-minded people to come to our meetings to help it grow and to come up with ideas. Now, once we got those people in the meetings, we've talked to them and we've heard them, then we need to implement what they may want done. Whether it be a factory, or whether it be a new store. We can't just put a Dollar General in a building, an old building, for example, and then, or we can't take somebody from one building and put them in another building that quick, because then we have an empty building. And that's what the other aldermen were saying, is we don't have any curb appeal in Hardy, Arkansas. I mean, it is our curb appeal. When you drive around, if you come in this side of town, our curb appeal sucks. If you drive in through this side of town, our curb appeal sucks.
30 seconds.
Oh, okay. So that, folks, put all three of them together. Get a good leader, get good business people, minded people into the meetings, and then implement their ideas for growth, okay? But we're going to need the people to do this. So that's it on that one.
You need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, if you don't care, just in case.
If elected, what 3 steps would you take to put the city on a firmer financial footing?
I think we've already started that in the past year or two. The first thing that we had to do was get our numbers, get our budget and everything together. For the past 13 years, we actually never knew how much money we had, and they were spread across 28 different bank accounts. So we've got everything in the bank now. We know where we're at. The biggest thing that's going to help us is to continue the grants. We can only bring in so much money with tax money. The federal government has tons of grants available. We've gotten a water tower, $300,000 project going. We've gotten with FEMA, gotten our money back from them. And as part of the curb appeal, we've got a code enforcement now to try to get the things cleaned up and get the businesses in here to keep that going. So we've made a lot of negotiations. We've cut our phone back. That saved us $6,000 just doing things like that. We fixed everything as far as our flood control module. That was $1,000 a year. We've upgraded our tornado sirens. That saved us another $1,000 a year. And it's the little things like that. We've got a ton of bills that are small bills that you don't pay attention to. But when you start knocking $1,000 off every little item over the year, then you save a ton of money. So I think that's what we got to focus on. We worked on the big stuff. Now it's down to working on all the little small bills that we continue to get and receive, and continue to negotiate with everybody. There's a ton of people out there that do the same thing. So as far as just getting us on a firmer footing, like I say, the grants are a huge process that we work on. I know that's y'all hear a lot about, but we've got a lot of people. We've got some really good people that help me volunteer and to keep everything going. So as long as we do that, I think we're going to continue to grow. Our tax revenue has increased, even though we've had a restaurant to burn and things like that. So we just need to focus on that.
Thank
Okay.
you. Mr. Seeger. So, what is the biggest issue currently facing your city, and how do you plan to resolve that issue?
I have to agree the biggest issue is what the alderman said too, is our apathy and animosity in this town is way out of whack. My biggest fear is if we get one of these other leaders in there, we're still going to be split down the middle. Folks, I'm not a magician, but I think we can do a lot of things together magically. But we're going to have to come together. And I feel I'm the candidate that can actually bring the people together. I got friends in every group out there. I call there 4 groups. But I got friends in every one of those groups. I'm not partial or have anything against any of them. So I believe I'm the one that can bring them together the best. And how I plan to do that is, as far as getting people to come together, I'm going to put everybody into a timeout corner. All right? Y'all know what a timeout corner is, all right? And you can't come out of that timeout corner until you're all going to get along. And believe me, they'll be coming out of that timeout corner because it's boring in that timeout corner. I know I've been there. So, but yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of our family feuds, I'm gonna call them, because there's families in every group, and they are die-hard Hardians. These people have been here forever. They're antiques, so to speak. So it's a family here, and that feud, we're gonna have to resolve that one way or the other. And I believe I'm the best candidate to bring the town together. Most people know me as the flag man, and that's where most of the smiles are, is right there on the corner. I get more smiles on that corner. I get over 360 honks on any given hour. 360 people will honk at me. Is that it? Boom! No, just kidding. Hey, have a good day. Keep on shining out. I just want to say that.
All right, Jason. What is the biggest issue currently facing your city, and how do you plan to resolve the issue?
I think the biggest issue that we've got right now that we got to look at is going to be infrastructure. I mean, we pride ourselves on the history of Hardy and how old it is, but what we haven't worked on in a long time is the working system of Hardy. Our water lines are 100 years old. They're cast iron. We've got one running down Main Street that could pop anytime. The water tower, we've been written up with the health department for the past 13 years, I think. So we are getting a new water tower now, but that's just the main part. We had a problem with the electricity going out this past year and shutting the town down for the whole day. We got energy to come in and do a backfeed, so now we have two ways of receiving power if something does happen. But that's a small part of the actual infrastructure. Our roads are falling apart. We're going to do the largest road repair that we've ever had coming up this month, but that's still yet. We've got a lot of work to do. We need to start working on the water lines. Our sewer plant is soon to be antiquated and not in compliance with health department. So we've got about a $200,000 upgrade that we've got to do on that. So it's real easy to flush the toilet, turn the water on, but you got to think about how that stuff gets to your house and what happens when you hit that button. So if we don't start working on that, then the history is going to be the last thing that we're worried about. So there's a lot of grants that we've got to write and a lot of money that we've got to work on, doing our best to keep the cost of everything down. But of course, one part of the water and sewers is divided by the amount of people in the town. So if we increase the amount of people who live here, then we decrease the amount that everyone has to pay to keep the system running. So, but again, I think that's going to be our biggest issue that we've got to, the leader of the town needs to be worried about. All right, thank you.
Thank you both.